sounds from the game. I think we're going to be diving into it. This is going to be round number... Is this round one still? Yeah, I think this is round one, SortOf versus Tatoh.
Yeah, on Lipany. In the red, we have SortOf playing as the Chinese. Really good that he's red, together with the flag. And in the blue, we have Tatoh playing as the Abbasid. SortOf using the right monument here, the right monument to use on your town center. What monument did Tatoh have there? Was that the standard monument that Tatoh has on his town center? I wonder what that was exactly.
The most important detail.
Okay.
I see that Conqueror one everywhere. This is like, I don't know. I think you get the elephant. Now that's a statue.
Yeah, the elephant definitely stands out among all of these monuments, but this is looking like, yeah, it's an amazing statue. It looks so good in the game. It's absolutely huge.
Beautiful observing work here by Lidicor. And I do have to correct myself. This is a round of 64, so this will be our first best of 3. I figured we might be in best of 3 by now, so there we go. And yeah, where are those berries? Where are those sweet berries for Tatoh going to be? I see some out to the south, to the east, in the middle. Lipany, as far as Lipany spawns go, looks pretty good. Sometimes you get crazy mountains across the middle.
Yeah, this is actually the modded version of Lipany. It's the Road to Wololo Lipany edition. So there have been a couple of balance changes around Lipany. Just take a little bit of this extreme randomness out that Lipany can sometimes have. Make it look a little bit more like the actual Lipany and less like mega random. So we're gonna have a really interesting map here. Oh, this is an interesting deer position there on that little hill here to the left of Tatoh space.
Oh yeah. I've had it completely closed off on the hill before, so this is fine, though. Yeah, it definitely is a little weird. Maybe you go up there and build a wall, but then your villagers be trapped if they get surrounded. Yeah, that's a fun position.
Outpost on the mountain could provide a lot of line of sight there.
Absolutely.
When you put an outpost on like higher elevation, that does extend your line of sight on them.
A very scenic map here, but of course, Abbasid, they don't need those deer. Let's go for berries. But yes, typically, you're going to want to use that deer source. There's so much food there. And let's see, actually, did Tatoh, he opened up, I was trying to see if so he did the standard sheep opening here, didn't go for a mill or anything like that, and we do see him going up to the next stage, probably with the economic wing. The Abbasid, they got these different wings you could choose from aging up. They age up a little more traditionally, shall we say, for Age of Empires games, at a building. They click a button and they start going up through the ages.
Yeah, you don't have to have your villagers idle. They don't have to build a landmark. It just gets researched automatically. You have to build the first one. And sometimes when I play the Abbasid, when I'm a little bit rusty, I might suddenly find myself having enough resource to go up. And I'm like, wait, no, I didn't build a House of Wisdom. No, but Tatoh here, he builds it in time. And he's going up at a pretty competitive timing here, I think. I think he's going to be up at around the 4-minute mark exactly. So he's going to be looking at a very fast, fresh foodstuffs.
And I see Bitterland mentioning in the chat, one of our amazing custom map editors mentioning that deer cannot get trapped on the hill in this custom version of Lipany that we have for our tournament. So, fun little fact for you.
Yeah, so in the old version, those deer on the hill, they might have been completely enclosed so that nobody could have gotten access to them, but not on this version. This is our improved Road to Wololo Lipany. Really glad to have people like Bitterland here modding these maps for us, making them better, improving them for the entire community to enjoy. So big shout out there to Bitterland at this point.
And anyone can go over to the mod library in the main menu and download these maps. Or they might be more interested in some of the other custom ones, maybe not these super competitive versions of Lipany like we have here. But I got to talk to him, get him to add some extra berries for me. Nice close to my town, just my spawn.
All right, so we got the Imperial Academy here being built by SortOf. Just with actually 2 villagers right now, the Chinese, they're able to build landmarks quite a bit faster than other civilizations. In general, their build speed is a lot better than that from other civilizations. Tatoh going over to stone here, so it looks like it's just your standard 2TC play. Here, it looks like instead of going for the fast song into second TC, it looks like he's prioritizing the second TC before song. Might be like a little bit of a timing where he would go for song and 2TC at the same point in time. Usually I like to prioritize one over the other. It just helps a little bit with the timing, but ultimately when you get to that 2TC song, you're going to be producing villagers out of effectively 3.24 almost by town centers. So it's really, really fast. So Song Dynasty, what it does, it decreases the time that it takes to produce villagers by 30%. 33%, I think it was. 33 or 35%. Yep. There it is, 35%. Yep. So your villagers, they're being created every 13 seconds out of a town center. So if you have 2 town centers, that equals out to 3.2-ish villagers, town centers producing villagers all the time. Now we also have the Barbican of the Sun. Yeah, you do need 2 landmarks. That's another unique thing of the Chinese. They're able to make multiple landmarks. Actually, they're able to build every single landmark. And when they build a second landmark, they're able to go into a dynasty, providing them with these additional bonuses. So Song Dynasty is one of these bonuses here.
Yep, and I also just wanted to call out, as here I was mentioning, like, okay, these guys are going for another town center. How do we know that? Well, here in Age of Empires 4, the only use for stone in the Second Age is going to be either for those town centers that require 300 stone, or if you're trying to upgrade towers. And typically, you don't see a ton of investment in those tower upgrades early on. So when you see someone building a mining camp by stone early on in either the Dark or Second Age, they are probably gathering that stone for a town center. And as he's pointing it, you can even click on the mine and count how much is left if you don't want to scout it, want to know that it's about to be dropped down.
Yeah, SortOf, he does have a scout that has line of sight of Tatoh's stone. So he knows, since Tatoh is still on stone right now, he's gathering more than the 300 stone that he would usually need, that Tatoh is going to go for a 3 town center play.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? Yeah, so 3 town centers for Tatoh. You have to go for 3 town centers when you're up against the China with the Song Dynasty, because else the Chinese player, they're going to have, they're only building 2 town centers, but their town centers work like they're 3 town centers. So if you're able, if you can just build 3 town centers as the Abbasid, and you're going to be in a really, really good spot, because with every town center that you add, you're going to be basically gaining more and more food from those fresh foodstuffs, because your villagers, they're only costing 25 food each.
Yep. I always like when I play against China, because I was like, I know he's going to sit back and do a town center boom. I'm going to sit back and do a town center boom. We're going to play our city skylines, and we're going to have a nice time, and we'll settle this up, likely in the Castle Age.
Yeah, this does look a little bit like a boom festival right now. I wonder who's going to be the first one to put up aggression. Probably Tatoh, since he can just age up, and behind that he's like, oh yeah, now I'm aging up, it's going to take me 2 minutes, what do I do in the meantime? And indeed, we do see him drop down archer range, so could be a single camel archer just roaming around on the map, hitting some villagers, and we also see him move out on to those deer on the mountain.
Yep, so he's going out for those deer. Still 1 villager getting stoned. I don't know what he's going for there. Maybe another upgrade, or maybe a miss rally, but yeah, they're just doing like I guess it's a 15-minute treaty mode, appears to be what they're practicing. No attacking. Oh, we do have a scout on the other side, but they're just scouting each other out. All they're seeing is more and more booming.
Yeah, it's so important in these kind of games to just always have a scout in your opponent's base. You always want to be knowing what they're doing, if they're going for army early on, or if they're playing the greedy game. They just wanna go into that castle age with their 3 town centers. But yeah, we do see the first actually 2 camel archers here being queued by Tatoh, so is looking for some economy damage here on SortOf potentially.
Yep. And I want to ask you, how quickly should you train those additional Imperial officials? We just saw him being pointed out there. He's got multiple over there on China's side. I don't play a ton of China myself. If you play it, do you think about adding those additional officials?
I think you can go for 1 Imperial official as soon as you have the Imperial Academy up, just so you are able to supervise 1 camp, 1 gathering camp, and the other one is always going to be able to collect tax from other buildings. And then later on, as soon as you have those 2 town centers in Song Dynasty, you can make the next 2 Imperial officials, and they're just gonna put your economy into overdrive. But now we have that camel archer, and that could be 1 dead Imperial official here.
They do so much damage. These units have a high amount of range damage, particularly for the Second Age.
Yeah, now there's a lot of idle economy for SortOf. Actually, just going back now over to the berries, but the camel archer, he can just stay there. But no, we got Jugunu here, and the Jugunu, they're able to deal a lot of damage to these camel archers. The camel archer does not have any base pierce armor, So these Jugunu, they're attacking 3 times basically. So all of these 3 attacks, they're doing the full damage to these Camel Archers, making the Jugunu just a really, really strong unit. So SortOf is going to be able to repel the push here. And it looks like he's going to be the first one to click up to Castle Age.
Yeah, not only are they do a lot of attack towards those camels, the Jugunu are much cheaper. So you don't want to be losing camels as Jugunu. So having a few, then pulling back, probably a good decision. We see him slapping down that astronomical clock tower, which can train up that siege, and he's hitting this pretty quickly here. And I'm assuming Tatoh is going to be going up to the next stage here soon too, as well.
Yeah, with 16 villager, that clock tower goes up in like 20-ish seconds.
Yeah, culture wing.
And now there's the Abbasid, they're not able to rush up their age up. So the Tatoh is going to have to wait the full amount in order to... Wait, okay, that's a granary on the deer there, okay. But yeah, Tatoh is going to have to wait the full amount for his Castle Age to come in. He does have access to the Camel Archers, which is a unit that is absolutely massive in the early game. Also able to take down knights relatively easily by kiting them. But yeah, it's going to take him a while to get to the next age. But we do see Tatoh has already walled off the left half of the map. So map control probably looking better here for Tatoh at the moment.
At the very least, you should have a little more control over those relics if SortOf is trying to make a rush for those, which often players do, right? When they hit the Castle Age, they'll slap down that mosque or monastery, whatever it is, and chase after those relics since they are free gold, especially with, we got a boom fest going on. So why would they not want to improve their gold gather rate?
Yeah, and right now we see SortOf actually massing a lot of men-at-arms here. So an armored unit right off the bat, really, really good for him. With Palace Guards, he's going to be able to just run into the economy from Tatoh and potentially do a lot of damage there. Also grabbing the upgrade for the Jugunu, Veteran Jugunu. And with Veteran Jugunu, because they get a lot of bonus damage, they're actually doing a lot of damage to Horsemen as well. And we see right now Tatoh is massing a couple of Horsemen here at the same time as he's going up. So Jugunu with upgrades, with veterancy, they're gonna be able to still hold their own against the
Palace Guard.
But now we see a Palace Guard here. That could be dangerous.
I mean, you gotta think, if SortOf has obviously scouted this earlier on, he knows that, like, okay, this is a good place I could chase down some villagers. They're kind of trapped up on this hill if you corner them. And just taking that one Palace Guard is gonna be able to dish out some damage. So, the speedy Palace Guard raids.
Yeah, the Palace Guard has a little bit less pierce armor than normal men-at-arms, so the Camel Archers, they're able to do a lot of damage against them. One Palace Guard here,
hiding.
I think he's hiding in the tree. He's waiting for for the enemies to chop wood there and then strike. But yeah, right now, the more mobile army composition is still in favor of Tatoh. There aren't a whole lot of Palace Guards out on the map right now. SortOf actually prepping a nest of bees already. A little bit unprovoked.
Do you think he's seriously guarding that from if they chop through? So I was like, he might be, or he's just hiding. I don't know. I was like, that would be a next level tactic to have like a guard, Palace Guard. The tree guard.
He moved away now.
Darn. I kind of like that story.
We already see a monk being made by SortOf right now, so SortOf is going to be looking into trying to grab some of these relics. There's a single villager here on those berries with a mill. I don't think that villager is going to be long for this world, because the entire army for SortOf is literally just 5 tiles away from him, just waiting for the attack move command in order to strike.
Uh-oh, here he comes! Surprise! Goodbye.
A short life lived here. But yeah, now the mill is gonna be taken down. I mean, SortOf, he really has to break through these walls here at some point, just in order to have access to these relics on the left side of the map. I'm not seeing Tatoh right now making any monks. He's just making crossbowmen and horsemen, which is the correct composition here. The horsemen, they're going to be able to just jump on that nest of bees and take it down quickly. But behind that, SortOf is also prepping spearmen in response, so this could be an interesting fight. Depending on whoever micros these fights better, could definitely change the tides of battle here. There's no clear winner when it comes to army composition right now.
Yeah, I almost always want to either get a spring gold in my composition very early against China, because you almost can guarantee they're going to have nested bees. Or you could take the risk and plan on diving it with some horsemen, which he does have an okay mass of horsemen here, but of course, that's assuming that they pass to where you expect them to go.
Yeah, now Tatoh also moving out with some of his villagers to the berries at the very top side. It looks like SortOf is gonna wall behind, so unless SortOf spots that there are villagers behind his wall, that could also lead to a proxy base later on. But right now we see Palace Guards are trying to move out, trying to get a couple of raids in. A little bit of a pseudo engagement right here. Both armies just sizing each other up and looking if they can take a fight anytime soon here.
Yeah, I think Tatoh sees that, knows he needs to either back off or get some kind of surround or flank on those nested bees because they are just so devastating towards archers. And we do see Tatoh getting a fair amount of stone ready. Same thing for SortOf. So I expect to see some keep somewhere on the map. Maybe SortOf will drop on that left side. Maybe Tatoh will throw one in the face of SortOf. We'll have to kind of see where those go.
Right now I'm still worried for Tatoh though. He has not made a single monk yet, and SortOf is already gathering his third relic at the moment. So relic advantage looks to be in the favor of SortOf. If he's able to get all 3 relics in, if he goes to the Yuan dynasty, he's able to get those pagodas out. And you can only make 3 pagodas, and a pagoda can only house 1 relic. So with 3 relics, you're pretty much golden as the Chinese.
Yeah. So of course, prioritizing those relics there. It's going to be 100 gold per minute. And I saw that like early on in Age of Empires 4, there were players that would seem to ignore them or not pay attention to them until like super late in the game. These days, I feel like players are going way more aggressively towards relics. Of course, with HRE being so popular, people will learn that you gotta. But some horsemen getting ready for a little raid. Let's see where they go. 8k gold there.
Yeah, right now they're just chilling. Now they go. Now they move again. SortOf had vision on those through the outpost there, and indeed he does pull his villagers off. Now he also is able to see those villagers there on the berries, so has intel on that, is potentially able to like just send a couple of palace guns there. Now we also see the first keep go up for Tatoh. I wonder, has SortOf already placed the keep? Maybe potentially over towards that sacred site? No, he's getting emplacements right now, so I'm not sure if that emplacement is actually going to be able to reach those villagers though.
I think he knows they're there at the very least, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. Spearmen guarding the stone just fine. Those horsemen actually might be almost walled in. He's trying to complete the wall and trap them, it looks like, but I'm not sure. Oh, he'd have to do some quick walling. I don't think he's going to get it.
The horsemen are just passing right now. Actually, no, they do want to go. Nope, they thought about it again. They don't want to lose their lives today. So they're going to be out of there in no time. Actually,
at range.
Pringle, the placement, is able to reach the mill at least, and a couple of villagers there as well.
He's got a few spearmen coming in.
There. Yeah, the spear. Like if the tower isn't able to take down all villagers, the spearmen are.
Yep. So gonna lose. Gonna lose 6 builders, but I mean, at the grand scheme of things, we're sitting here at the 18-minute mark. We've got 116 vills for the Abbasid. SortOf was like 120. Losing his fuse isn't great, but it's not as impactful as it is early on in the game. In fact, it just frees up a little military population, if anything.
Yeah, these villagers also being really cheap means they're really easily replaceable on top of that. With 3 town centers, it doesn't take long to replace all of these. 40 seconds and you're going to have 6 villagers again.
They are running for their lives. The spearmen in tow. Oh, shot down. That's not fair.
It's all scouting information for them.
They're just trying to get home. They got berries in their pockets.
Oh, the barbican.
Oh, what a way to go. They ran so far. Ouch.
They tried. Oh, sort of actually being able to spot that outpost being made on that hill there.
You know what?
It's gonna be... Oh, wait, we missed the fight. There was a huge fight there. Oh.
So busy watching villagers. It was worth it. Yeah, it looks like there was a cleanup there.
Yeah, now horsemen running in. There's still the reinforcements though for SortOf, and I'm not sure if these horsemen are going to get a lot of value. They're definitely going to be annoying though. SortOf going for a couple of quick walls here. They're not going to be able to... Yeah,
he's trying.
He's just running in right now.
Before this run by, I was going to say a trebuchet on that hill to the right to the south of China's base. I think it can reach the Barbican and the clock tower, possibly. That hill, like right to the right of the Barbican. Would a trebuchet there be able to hit both of those landmarks?
Yeah, I would imagine it could. I don't see why not. It definitely looks like both of these buildings are in range. And now the horsemen, they're still just running around in the back of the base. We see the slow infantry behind from SortOf is just trying to catch up, but it's just... Wait, the villagers? No, the villagers, they got their
are
ships
angry.
out. They want in on the action there, but this is not efficient here for SortOf at all.
I mean, he's almost at pop max. This may be an effort to thin the herd as far as the villagers is concerned, but it does look like SortOf is aging up. We've got the Spirit Way going up, and you want to talk a little bit about, I know there's been a little bit of changes to that recently.
Yeah, so the Spirit Way no longer reduces the cost of any of these Dynasty units. Instead, what it does is, if a Dynasty unit dies, it actually buffs up all units around it. So it gives them it heals them for 20 health over 4 seconds, I believe it is, and also buffs up their attack speed. So right now, the Spirit Way, it is more like a military buff building instead of increasing the mass of military that you have. Also, what it does is you're able to research all Dynasty upgrades from them for 50% of the cost, and I think it was 100% faster.
I gotta say, these farms are beautiful. Look at this city he's built here. This is like a perfect grid of farms. I think he's been out there playing Anno or something.
Yeah, China being known for having like a really... Ever since the buff to granaries, where before they cost 250 wood to make, now they only cost 150. We've seen a lot more from them. And it makes so much sense to just have your entire farm economy around all of these granaries. But it also means that your farm economy is going to be condensed. So a raid on that farm economy could be absolutely devastating.
You can see those little green pluses above those Dynasty units as they were, one of their friends had died there in the field, and that is the buff of the Spirit of the Way. And looks like we have tons of upgrades coming in. I'm assuming on both sides. Of course, in the late game, Abbasid, they're going to really have some great discounts since they do have those discounts from the Culture Wing. And yeah, we're going to have a full tech late game battle here very soon.
Yeah, now also getting improved processing, so that's a lot of bonus resource income for the Abbasid. Overall, looking at the post-Imperial army composition for the Abbasid, in my opinion, the Abbasid are probably the best civilization right now when it comes to like really late Imperial battles. One difference here, though, between these two players right now is that SortOf is pretty much fully walled in, and Tatoh isn't. And now we see SortOf pushing out on other sides of the map and getting raids, and Tatoh has not reacted to that raid on his woodline yet, but I imagine he's probably, yeah, and right now he's pulling his units away as we speak. Oh, that's 2 Spring Golden Placement outposts. They're going to be able to clean that up, no problem.
And I would say Abbasid very strong as far as the fights in their armies in the late game, but I think where they can fall a little flat in this matchup is if they can get a keep drop anywhere near their House of Wisdom, they've got 1 landmark. So if you can get up some keeps, hold a position, and you can siege down the only landmarks Abbasid has. Of course, has lots of HP. But we got this battle going on as we have Nest of Bees firing off. Lots of spearmen kind of dying on the front line. Looks like a tower is on fire. Horsemen trying to flank around. The spearmen are on them, but they're upgraded. Look at that. He's going to be wiping out all that siege. Nice little flank there.
Yeah, goodbye Springald, goodbye Nest of Bee, and goodbye Trebuchet. That siege just absolutely evaporates in the blink of an eye. And now the army, once again, it's just not as mobile. Oh, now we got the Imperial Palace coming in, though. The Yuan Dynasty. That's going to be absolutely huge for the Chinese. Usually, they're really slow in the mid-game. But with the Yuan Dynasty, they get 15% increased movement speed, not only on all of their military, but all of their villagers as well. So with the Song Dynasty, you just pump out all of these villagers. And then with the Yuan Dynasty, you make them way more efficient with that 15% more movement speed. And also the Spearmen and all the other units, they're now going to be much better at catching up to those horsemen and shutting down those raids as soon as they happen.
Yep. But as of right now, horsemen raids hitting all over the farms of SortOf. And back on the front line, looks like we've got some stone walls for SortOf going up, while we've got Tatoh moving up with massive crossbows.
Yeah, crossbows are gonna be able to deny the stone walls from coming in right now. There was a trebuchet, yeah, clock tower bombard here, but it's gonna be taken down by those villagers. Villagers, though, potentially dying due to those elite Shogunate. Actually, no, they did take it down quite fast there.
Yep, so we've got pings all over the map. Looks like on the right side, on the left side, and keeps there kind of holding down those sacred sites. But both players, they have 1 sacred site. Palace Guard raids. Yeah, that's that speed you're talking about.
Yeah, Tatoh is trying to, well, not Tatoh, SortOf is trying to raid everywhere he can on the top side of the map and just hold Tatoh back in the middle of the map. And it's working relatively well for him right now. He's able to push Tatoh back on the bottom side and able to get a lot of units in through the top side. And I think Tatoh really has to wall here pretty soon. He does have over 1,000 stone in the bank, so there's no reason why he couldn't just drop another keep and then some walls behind that. Right now, he is still floating. Well, not floating. He is floating a lot of gold right now, and he does have a lot of crossbowmen. But he really needs to spread out his army composition here at some point. Only crossbowmen and horsemen is not gonna be it for him here. And a couple of villagers there going down on the berry again.
Well, and we do see that villager count for Tatoh being below 100. And you don't, I mean, it's okay to shave off a few, but typically you want to keep that number up. But another thing you got to consider, got to leave population space for this siege, particularly as we get in the late game. I know I've found myself in the case where I was spamming out infantry and suddenly I don't have the room to get the firepower I need to break through the defenses.
Yeah, looking at the food income right now, SortOf at over 3,000 food per minute. Meanwhile, Tatoh sitting at around 1,000, 1,500 food per minute. It's all these granaries. These granaries are just absolutely bonkers when it comes to food income. And right now, it's does he even have? Okay, he doesn't even have the Imperial Age food upgrade for his units right now. So this could be even better. Just getting that additional food upgrade, it would almost put him up to 4,000 food per minute.
That's a lot of food per minute.
Single horseman there, scouting out the back of SortOf space. And looks like SortOf is now pushing past his stone walls that he was trying to put up. At least he's getting a couple of Fire Lancers in. Actually, Fire Lancers, they can do a lot of damage against clubbed up units like this. However, it looks like they didn't want to get their charge up there, so not a whole lot of damage going on there.
Yep, those Fire Lancers all going down.
They do go down quite easily against archers as well, since they do like any pierce armor baseline.
So in the super late game, when we're sitting here on Pop Max, do you prefer a trebuchet army or a bombard army if you're Tatoh?
If you're Tatoh, I would prefer a bombard army, just because as the Abbasid, you have access to the Culverin. And with the Culverin, you're pretty much unmatched when it comes to siege in the late game, especially against China. The only buff that they have to their siege is going to be health, and the health is only going to be coming out of a single siege workshop. So you're not going to be able to produce a ton of siege from that. And now we see units trying to... it's so tough when there's like a stone wall foundation there and the crossbowmen, they're not able to shoot over it. Now he's... Oh no, raids coming in though. These are really fast palace guards with the Yuan dynasty, and they're just going to be running in. They're just looking for farms left, right, and center.
I think he built all these crossbows to counter his palace guards, but the crossbows are the palace guards are all on the right side of the map.
This all comes back due to Tatoh not walling up the right side. He did a good job of walling the left side in the early game, but completely negating, well, not negating, but like not looking at the right side of the map. And now we see additional stone walls coming in for SortOf, and it's going to be kind of tough putting stone walls up behind these walls, because there's just not a lot of room next to the hill and the already existing stone walls of SortOf to place your own stone walls. And Tatoh losing more and more villagers, now also being below 90, not just below 100.
I mean, at this point, it really comes down to managing your unit composition, managing your raid, and trying to prevent your economy from taking big hits, as both players, well, they were at full pop, but Tatoh currently is not, and he's trying to stop this. It looks like he's making a little bit of progress right now, as we even see some units up on the wall, which will give him some additional range. And those trebuchets, looks like he's got a little massive. He's got 3 of them there now.
Yeah, it looks like he's able to win these fights right now. However, if we're looking at the food economy, it's just brutal right now. SortOf sitting at 3 times the food income of Tatoh, and there's still all of these palace guards raiding these farms, idling them. Even more fire lancers, they're taking down the siege there, and really we need walls. Tatoh needs walls. He is not able to keep up with these raids from all these different angles. He's stuck at around 150 population this entire time. Meanwhile, SortOf literally glued to 200 out of 200 pop.
Yep, we see those fire lancers just moving around, causing damage. Villagers, wait, those are Chinese villagers hiding in the bottom right.
No, those are palace guards.
Oh, those palace guards? Sorry,
yeah.
I thought they were villagers for a second, but yeah, that makes more sense. I was like, what are they doing
They're
down there?
just waiting. They're just waiting to strike again. Now we see Fire Lances again. Such an efficient raiding unit, especially with the Spirit Way. They're able to heal each other as they are a Dynasty unit whenever they die. And also with the charge damage, they're able to kill a lot of villagers quickly. If you see villagers clumped up on, for example, a stone mine, if you get like a charge in with 5 Fire Lancers, all of those villagers are dead.
Yeah, this is starting to look bad for Tatoh, as we've got basically units starting to move in on both sides. He might hold those off. Yes, gets those. I guess stops that raid, but there'll just be another one coming if he doesn't get a wall up.
Population looking really, really grim right now for Tatoh. Sitting at 80 villagers and only 100 population. Only 24 army right now compared to 72 of SortOf. And I feel like SortOf just... I mean, right now the food economy is looking better for Tatoh than it was before. He was able to somewhat push back all of these palace guards, but now we see even more palace guards just running in. The movement speed is just insane on these units.
They are crazy. Villagers just getting slaughtered right now. And while all this is going on, SortOf, his villagers haven't taken a single hit in the last 5, maybe 10 minutes. So he's just got a full eco going for him while he's just focused on causing these fires for Tatoh. Tatoh's trying to put the fires out, but the whole time the China army is slowly creeping towards his base.
We see the resource bank right now just looking absolutely incredible for SortOf. One thing, though, that Tatoh did manage to do, he was able to get a lot of map control early on. And because of that, SortOf actually doesn't have that much access to gold, though he still has quite a few gold mines in his base. Only sitting at 1,300 gold right now per minute. But he doesn't even need that much gold for these palace guards, so it's all right for him, and he's just able to outmass his opponent just with palace guards alone. Usually palace guards, they're not as strong as men-at-arms due to 1 less armor, both pierce and melee armor. But he's just able to outmass him and just overrun the economy from Tatoh right now. It's looking absolutely grim right now for Tatoh.
Well, and he hasn't had to break through that front line. He hasn't had to take down his keeps. His goal has just been just keep diving these villagers, and knows that, well, he can replace these units behind this, and that's going to put Tatoh further and further behind. And sometimes a player might just give up, thinking that, like, I can't get my eco back on track to take this out. And as we look at the numbers right now, Tatoh, he's got 56 gold in the bank. Where is he gathering gold? Well, he's got some mines left, but no villagers around him.
Yeah, and more raids happening on all sides. Now also 3 trebuchets and a bombard for SortOf, so he's also looking to now take down the infrastructure of Tatoh, and even more fight. It's just sustained unit mass all the time. Actually, he could take these fights there with the Shuganu. He chooses not to. He chooses to lure him back into the choke between the walls. And now we see Tatoh calls it. It was just death by 1,000 cuts here.
Yeah, I think it was just what we just mentioned before of, SortOf didn't have to break everything. He didn't have to break all his defenses or siege a whole lot of buildings. He broke the villager line and their economy and their spirits behind this. I guess it's kind of a classic siege. He starved his opponent out there over time, and you can really see that villager difference. And it looks like SortOf will be taking game number 1 of this best of 3 in the round of 64.
So we're really, really close to going into this next game. And indeed, here we go.
Yep, there's that speed arrow, and we got to shake. Look at that. Stone right by the town center and wood. So that's pretty nice. If you're Mongols, you got that nice and protected under your town center. Of course, they're not going to be gathering stone via traditional means. They will get it from that building, and it also means it'll be secure. It doesn't worry about a whole lot of raids on there. But his gold's a little further away. What does SortOf spawn look like?
SortOf spawn looks relatively similar. It looks like he has the gold in range of his town center. Yeah, you can just put down the Gur next to it. But the stone, though, I'm not seeing a lot of stone mines close to him right now.
And they're not anywhere. Wait, they look like that's up to his north is where he's built it. I think he's already got his Uvu up there. So that's going to be the 2 sides here. It's either you got stone under your town center or you got an Uvu under your town center. If you had to choose, which one would you rather have?
Right now, I would say gold under your town center. It's just straight up. It forces your opponent, if he wants to pressure the stone, it forces him to make units that are actually able to take down buildings, so spearmen early on. But yeah, that also means that your opponent is he doesn't necessarily have to defend the Uvu. He can just go for a faster feudal age, and then he's able to make units that counter the spears, and he's able to just go over there. But okay, we do see Tatoh, he did pick the orange here in color, and luckily for us, we have the orange color also available for us on the top right. So you see that Tatoh is going to be playing as the orange here, and he's also going for an early barrack. So this looks like early feudal aggression from him, possibly onto that exposed Uwu. And I think we also saw SortOf also drop down a barrack. So both players going for a feudal age push here potentially.
You say luckily for us as far as that red and orange is concerned, but I've posted a screenshot before of if you've ever seen red and orange horsemen right next to each other. The horsemen kind of have that orange tint as it is. And so sometimes it's actually hard to tell at a glance, depending on the angle, if that is your enemy's horsemen or your horsemen that are running through your base. But I mean, the mini map, it's way easier. They made the maps, the colors more distinct. You definitely can tell.
Yeah, there's always an outline around the individual boxes of the units, so it's much easier to be able to tell, oh, is this an enemy unit? Is this one of my units? It makes it easier to tell. But now we see both players sending their spearmen towards the middle. Yeah, there are two spearmen from SortOf coming out, being greeted by Tato's Khan here. Gets a couple of shots out onto these spears. Khan from Tatoh, though, he's... Wait, no, that's SortOf's Khan. SortOf's Khan gathering quite a lot of sheep here early on. Meanwhile, Tatoh, he's using his Khan in order to attack, so that could be the difference maker here.
Yeah, they went for a very similar strategy, both open with spearmen, but the Khans not being in the same spot. And there we go, we got Tato's on the front line, doing a little damage there to that unprotected Uwu, essentially.
It looked like Tatoh also stopped making spearmen after the the first two double batches. Meanwhile, SortOf goes for the 6 spearmen at the beginning.
Yep, so he should be able to hold this, but of course a little bit larger investment, so it'll be a little behind on age up.
Yeah, this might just be a little bit of a mind games kind of situation. Tatoh just pushing out means that SortOf has to stay in his base. He committed more into spears, and he's not able to really use that to push out, just because there's always a threat looming of Tatoh using those. Actually going for 8 spearmen now, but Tatoh almost being able to click up as well. And he's on gold, but he's also got an outpost next to the gold, so that's going to be secure. This means that Tatoh is going to easily be able to go into a feudal age here before SortOf.
Yep, so... Oh, crossing on the... They don't know that they're there. Hide in the fog of war from the spearmen. So they're going to pass each other. And we'll see if he turns around, though, as Tatoh shows up.
Yeah, I think he has to turn around. There's not really... SortOf can't get as much value as Tatoh can here. Tatoh also made a couple more spears here just to defend. But Tato's base is really compact, and he has an outpost on his gold. There's really no way right now that SortOf can do any damage. And we see his army has to move back. Actually splits them up. There's 3 spears moving towards the gold, but that won't work with the outpost there.
Yep, so 2 more spearmen coming out to defend. It looks like, yeah, the tower is going to prevent those spearmen from really doing any damage on the front line. And it's going to be a little bit of this like back and forth spearman action. It looks like actually a pasture. Did make a pasture on his Uwu. By the way, that gives you sheep faster because they don't farm. They build pastures and use the sheep. And I think it was you that taught me this week, or Salami, that you have to actually set that first rally point as it's being built to maximize the sheep production. I didn't know that.
Yeah, also sheep will just stand there. It's just gonna be away from your town center. You're gonna have to manually click it. It's just better to have the rally point there immediately. Wait, actually, was it? Did he mean it as in you need to have the rally point in order to benefit from?
He says
it
was 30 seconds faster. You got to set the rally point.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that as well. So it must have been Salami who told you.
Yeah, it says that the first, I guess the first, or that second sheep that's going to pop out comes out 30 seconds faster if you set the rally while it's being built.
Interesting, interesting. Now we see Tato's spearmen here being chased by the spearmen from SortOf. Are some of these spears bald? I think some of these spears are balding.
Some of them, yeah, some are bald. Some of them got a full set of hair, but they're running around. Line formation versus the. We got like a T going on here. This is kind of cool.
They're just going on a little bit of a camping trip here. Just exploring the map, and now Tatoh being the first one to reach the feudal age. Wonder what he's gonna go for. He's probably gonna go for potentially Mangadai, though I think normal archers are much more likely.
Yep, so age 2 is in play now. Tatoh is there, SortOf is almost there. And I think these spearmen I don't know, they're playing chicken kind of here, is going to finally stop.
Yeah, Tatoh is able to grab the fuel age upgrade a little bit quicker. So he potentially has the advantage for now, but now SortOf is also going to get it. And that upgrade comes in much, much faster. It's 15 seconds until it's researched. And we see it on the left side just absolutely rushing through that research bar. And now the spears are gonna collapse over on Tatoh. Yeah, now they got the upgrade. Now they want to fight. And Tatoh, okay, no, he's actually going for the Mangadai. Okay. Interesting. I like to see that. The Mangadai being a unit that is not just able to outrun the spearmen and being able to fire on them, but also doing a pretty decent job against the horsemen. This fight is not looking good here right now for Tatoh. I'm not sure what he was thinking with that.
Wait, is he at the upgrade and SortOf doesn't?
No, they both have the upgrade. That's
I know
why
he has attack speed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know why he took that fight.
The attack speed only works for ranged units, though,
yeah.
So good luck with that.
Well, there goes the Spearman of Tatoh.
First Mangadai coming out, now also being produced in double batches, so he really wants to escalate that Mangadai mass early on. I wonder what exactly he's gonna try and do with that, because the Mongol bases, they're usually so compact, you can't just run under a town center with the Mangadai and do damage. Potentially the deer are exposed right now. We see SortOf has gone out to the deer. So that could be a spot that he could do damage. But right now, I think Tatoh is just able to use those Mangadai and hunt down all of these spearmen there.
There we go. It's going to be a second town center for Tatoh. Is SortOf doing anything of the sort? Any 2 TC for him?
Doesn't look like it. He's not having... He's not gathering the wood for it right now. Yeah, this looks like a fast castle age right now for SortOf. Oh, this could be dangerous. If the Mangadai run in under the Uvu, they're able to snipe the sheep as they jump out of the pastures. That could potentially be troublesome for SortOf there.
Yeah. Oh boy. So the Mangadai gotta get out of there. You gotta micro him. You gotta be careful.
They don't have a lot of HP yet. Oh, SortOf also going for archers, so he's gonna be able to also counter the Mangadai there with the archers. Yeah, one Mangadai also already went down to the Khan there, and yeah, Tatoh has to run here. Now he also sees that there are more archers coming in from SortOf, and SortOf is getting so close to click up to the next age. This could be really, really dangerous here. I think the second TC might have been a little bit too greedy.
Yep. So 2 TC versus Fast Castle. I guess I always like when we have mirrors to see players, of course, like branch out of what they think is the strategy for this and see which one ends up panning out.
Yeah, right now Tatoh only one villager ahead with that second town center and SortOf clicks up to the next age at the same time. This could be absolutely devastating there. Also trying to get an outpost up on his gold mine, but units already there for SortOf. It's gonna go up. Yeah, it's gonna go up. SortOf doesn't commit there.
Yep, we've got the Taurus in there kind of defending his forward position on his gold. Got the Mangadai. I like they didn't overcommit on the Mangadai because it's easy. Some people like go all in on making Mangadai, and then if it doesn't work out, like they're not cheap units.
Yeah, 120 food and 40 gold for each unit. Those are really, really expensive actually. They cost more than horsemen, and it's gold. It's gold. Early on, gold could be like you have to structure your whole economy around that. You need gold, you need food, and those are also the resources that you need to click up. And now we see SortOf going into double stables here. He's already clicking, like he's already up to the next stage right about now. Now he's up. The stables could have been a little bit faster, so he's not able to get instant lancer production out of them. He's also missing a little bit of gold, but he's going to get the gold really, really quickly thanks to the step redoubt.
Yep, and it looks like it is up, and he's turned that in. Gold is cashing in for the day, and we're going to have ourselves some Lancers probably coming out here very, very soon.
Yeah, I can also go for the relics behind all of that. This is going to be looking rough here. I don't think Tatoh really... I think he somewhat overestimated the benefits of that second TC. Maybe he just... Maybe he just mismacroed there a little bit, had too many villagers on wood, and then he was like, "Oh, might as well go for a second town center." Now he's able to click up as well, but this feels like this could be a really, really rough timing. I would actually like to see Mangadai here as well. Wait, did SortOf? No. Okay, for a second I thought SortOf lost all of his archers, but he still is on 7 archers right now. But I think Mangudai right now could still be a solid choice for Tatoh, just in order to snipe all of the shamans that could potentially be roaming out on the map. But it does look like he's also going for that too stable Lancer play.
Yeah, I've seen some players go for the double productions of Shaman early on in the Castle Age with Mongol, just to really ensure you get those relics. But yeah, I have seen some players do that, but I'm not sure if they're going to here.
Yeah, I mean, Tatoh, he has been quite a while away from the game, from Age of Empires 4, so he might not know how important it has become in the meta to go for all of these relics early on. It does net you a lot of gold income over the duration of the game. So it's just really, really important. And now we see Lancers idling the gold there. They're just running in. They don't have any ranged armor right now, so they might actually be taking a lot of damage here from that outpost. I think one of these Lancers might actually be going down here soon. Also something to see is that Tatoh did grab the speed upgrade for his movable buildings. So these buildings, yeah, they're zooming around on the map.
Not like they used to. They used to really, really zoom. Look at that. Wheelbarrow hasn't been researched yet, just being pointed out.
Yeah, so no wheelbarrow yet. Tatoh is, however, almost 10 villagers ahead now due to that second TC. It's going to be interesting to see how well he's going to be able to defend here. He's getting a lot of lances in now as well. Still sort of has the lance advantage due to being up earlier. But it could be that Tatoh, with that added economy due to those bonus villagers, is going to be able to sustain the Lancer production better than SortOf.
Yep, and that whoever gets the most Lancers, those add up, and they look at the points, they check the tally, and say, okay, you're the winner of this game.
Yeah, right now he is able to push SortOf back. Lancer numbers now being almost equal. 6 Lancers for SortOf, 5 Lancers for Tatoh. He's gonna be looking out on the map now. We see, SortOf already gathering 2 relics. Yeah, and meanwhile Tatoh, he doesn't even have a single shaman right now. This could be absolutely rough in the late game. Oh no, this is Khan. Okay, this is the Khan of SortOf. For a second I thought, okay, this might be the Khan of Tatoh. He might be going for that shaman snipe there. Not going to be the case, though. Now we see a market coming in for Tatoh. Did SortOf maybe also already use the market? Can we take a look at that? If maybe there's a market for SortOf and what the market prices are. Yeah, there is a market, and the market prices right now, it looks like there was a little bit of an exchange when it comes to wood, but no other exchanges yet.
I'm going to have to spend more time looking at those market prices. I haven't really done that a whole lot. I usually just spam it when I need it and worry about it later.
Yeah, so right now, SortOf, he is not ahead in villagers. He is, however, ahead when it comes to... Oh, wait. He dropped a second town center at one point as well. And he's ahead when it comes to the economy upgrade. So it looks like Tatoh right now, he is dropping a Gur next to his TC. I think that's just going to be for economy upgrades, as he is right now busy grabbing the wheelbarrow upgrade from his one existing Gur. Actually, he does already have the step redoubt, so that's another Gur building that he could be researching economy upgrades from.
Yep, and we can see a little bit of the line of sight there with a few of those towers out on the northeast side for SortOf. As with the Mongols, you can't build walls, but you can use your towers to not only get that YAM network, but just to have some line of sight what's going on so you can react.
Yeah, SortOf now looking for these knights that he saw earlier on the left half of the map. However, Tatoh has the Khan with his units, so he has the added line of sight, so he does know where the units exactly are. He is using that to his advantage right now. He's like, yeah, you can't see me,
gosh.
I'm gonna run.
That's so
This
sneaky.
is perfect.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there's
gosh.
no sixth sense here, and those are potentially some dead villagers there. Now SortOf notices, and now he has to pull all of his knights back. This could actually be dangerous for Tatoh now, though. If these knights get trapped between all of the knights from SortOf, this could be really dangerous, and there's a shaman there with a relic in order to be like, yo, you better not run in there, you better not run in there. Oh, that was close. That was really, really close there for a second. Shaman could potentially be sniped here, though. No, he's gonna be able to deposit that relic again. Yeah, so Tatoh is gonna be able to take down a couple of archers, but behind this SortOf is also transitioning not just into knights, but also into crossbows as well. That could be a deadly composition here for what Tatoh has right now.
You know, I bet you Tatoh is really good at Splinter Cell. That was like some professional sneak he did right there. Like that, he just slipped on by just barely with that line of sight. That was perfect.
Yeah, it's so good when you have like a scout unit with that added line of sight with your main military. So you should definitely be able to like see, okay, these are right at the edge of my line of sight, so I'm gonna be able to stay outside your line of sight.
And then let the chase begin.
Yeah, the units. It's so smart of SortOf to have some of his units already like be positioned to the left side. Now he's idling them though. Okay, they're not gonna be able to catch Tatoh's units off guard there, so Tatoh is gonna be able to get out of there. Lancer numbers right now still in favor of SortOf. If we look at the overall income right now, Tatoh does look to be better in both the food and wood department right now. It all comes down to the production right now. Oh, he is spotting out that prayer tent right there, so potentially able to make that prayer tent burn and get some of these relics out there. But they are already reinforcement units from SortOf, so he's gonna say, nope, you're not gonna get my prayer tent today. And there are 4 relics right now in the possession of SortOf. Yep, that's just Lances getting caught out of position there. That hurts.
Yep. Yeah. And it's here, like, look, when all the units are glowing and fighting like this, like, in turning around angles, it's so hard to tell which ones are red and orange. Like, I know this wasn't ideal what we wanted, but it's the hand we have. And that's the moments I was talking about at the beginning of this game of, like, where it gets really, really hard to tell on ladder when I'm playing red versus orange. So I usually try to avoid them.
Yeah, it's also really rough. Like, we can't really switch back to red and blue right now, because if you do that, it does mess up with the colors sometimes. So you're gonna be having like red villagers that have like a blue health bar on top of them, and that also doesn't really make it much easier to determine who's who.
Yeah.
But I think we see a third town center right now for Tatoh, so he really wants to sustain his economic advantage that he has right now. Lancer count right now, though, still looking in favor of SortOf, but Tatoh is also adding crossbowmen now, so these army compositions are looking more and more equal, though the relic count right now is still being so much in favor of SortOf. It's the same story from last game, with all of the relics that he has, that is just so important for these army compositions where both of your main units are gonna cost gold.
Yep. And he's got now, I think that's a red sacred site, yes. So he has all 3 sacred sites. Well, is he getting that left one? Did he step off of it again? Maybe he's grabbing the relic.
I think he's sitting. He should still have the shaman.
Oh,
yeah, the shaman
okay.
is still on there. And now he's able to just put up outposts next to them, be able to have the yam aura everywhere. And if Tatoh decides to push on one of the right sides, due to the yam aura, Tatoh is gonna, like, SortOf is just gonna have his army there in just a couple of seconds.
Well, and one thing with like playing against late game Mongol is while you can have the strong army and all the line of sight in the world, but yes, if he pushes on the right side right now, he can just go and raid him right in the middle, and there's no walls that are going to block you. Like, sure, there might be some towers shooting at you, but you can just run straight through the middle of the base as we see him starting to head in right now.
Yeah, right now SortOf is just looking, oh wait, you built a 3rd town center? Interesting. Let me just pass by here. Like, he's just distracting Tatoh right now. He's, oh look, my army is over here, pay attention to me. But behind all of this, just looking at the gold income again, SortOf has 700 passive gold income from the sacred site and from these relics. It's really paying off right now. If you see SortOf like not being at like 3,000 gold per minute, you know that he's really using that. He's using all of that gold that he can get.
Yep, and we see a tower maybe going to go down as those trebuchets will help clear out those towers quite quickly. Trebuchets are about the #1 enemy of those things, which are all over the map. But we got a counter trebuchet. Not defended though right now. As a sort of trebuchet.
And once again, the Lancers, they're just gonna be like, oh, you want to push on that sacred side? Nope, I'm gonna be pushing you and that other side. You better pay attention to me again. No textiles yet for Tatoh, as Lidicor is pointing out. So these villagers, they die a hit faster. And now we see the numbers. The numbers, they're still in favor of SortOf here. Though SortOf, it looks like he's focused on the town center here. Losing a lot of units here.
Yeah, I was going to say, as that Lancer mass grows, yes, it can just eventually just take that town center down, but you don't want to be doing it while you got enemy Lancers on your back.
Yeah, now a lot of these Lancers are low as 1 HP. This could be devastating. I mean, SortOf, he still has the Shamans. He is totally able to just use those Shamans and heal up those Knights, and Now Tatoh, he realizes, oh man, this is a really, really dangerous win condition here. SortOf might go for the Sacred Side victory and I might not be able to stop it. So he really notices that he has to go for one of these Sacred Sides. So he's splitting up between not just the left, the right, but also the middle Sacred Side with all of his units. But that might also spread him a little bit too thin here, as it looks like the units from SortOf are massing towards the middle, just able to move to any of these flanked Sacred Sides at any point in time.
Yeah. I gotta say, winning with Sacred Sites with Mongols is one of the hardest civs because both civs, you build your walls and put a bunch of keeps around them, which deters a lot of people or at least slows them down for a long time. But yeah, any mispositioning of your army here and you could lose one of these Sacred Sites.
Yeah, you're also not going to be able to increase... Oh my god, Travis, Mangonel!
Oh,
no,
big
it
hit.
hits! That's a big hit. All of the, like a lot of these crossbowmen are now
that bottom
very,
right
very
Sacred
weak.
Site? Is he gonna get it? Bottom right Sacred Site? So close. We won't know.
400.
Oh,
he
he
tried.
almost
That was close. That was really close. He even used the shaman for all that, so not to use his military. Raids coming in for Tatoh now over on the gold, but there are still 2 outposts there, and Khan actually going down to the Springle Towers, and the knights are already there from SortOf, and that's going to be tough for Tatoh to get out of there.
Yep, and we've got a bit of the Lancer chase still going on. No walls really to stop you. They're just going to keep running on through. Unless they decide to turn around for a fight. And that Sacred Site timer keeps on ticking.
I'm wondering right now what the plan for Tatoh is. I'm seeing him bank up a lot of resource. I'm not sure if he's actually planning to go for Imperial Age here. This could be really, really dangerous if he goes for an Imperial Age timing here.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's still going to be the Sacred Site timer ticking all throughout. He's not able to slow that timer down at all unless he takes a military lead here at some point.
Yeah. Okay, looks like he's maybe going to try to go for that northern one. But yeah, I guess for Tatoh, his best chance of stopping the Sacred Sites is maybe just to split SortOf's army and then maybe push one a little bit harder if he miscalculates which one he needs to defend. But yeah, we do have those towers. They're not, the Springald upgrades aren't what they used to be. They used to, you could just put tons of them down and that would probably hold it forever. But looks like he's going to take a shot at that northern Sacred Site now, but going to pull back.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on that Sacred Site, it does mean that you're delaying it while you're actually contesting the Sacred Site. The timer is not going to be ticking. So you buy yourself a little bit of time. If you just have like a single unit on that Sacred Site, it buys you a lot of time. And time is really what Tatoh needs here, as he just hit the Imperial Age. He's 30 villagers ahead of SortOf right now, and it is reflected in the income right now. He does have a lot more food income. I think a couple of his villagers, actually a lot of his villagers, are probably idle under his TC gathering food just because there aren't enough sheep around in order for all of them to really be busy. Now, yeah, that's a lot of idle villagers there. He needs more pastures.
I want to mention one mechanic, because you just mentioned that if you're standing on the Sacred Site, the timer ticks down. One thing to know is it gets super late is if you hold the Sacred Site and you're standing on it before it starts losing any cap, the timer will keep going. So at the end of the game, you can't just plan on one giant fight at the end. The other side can put villagers and everything on there and just hold it for the win.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. You're able to deny your opponent from capping it, and the Sacred Site is just gonna keep ticking. Okay, so Tatoh right now, he is trying to grab as many of these Imperial Elite upgrades as he can. The question, though, is going to be, is it going to be enough? We see the army mass right now for SortOf being like 2-1 here. So, yeah, it's 50 military against almost 100 military for SortOf. I feel like even with Elite upgrades, you're not going to be able to make up for that.
Well, and the siege mass has really grown for SortOf, which it's going to be really hard for him to get the Springolds up to counter that without some really fancy micro.
Yeah, Springold's now moving out though for SortOf. And a couple of Springolds might get sniped here by the Knights. 2 Springolds going down, but there's a lot of Spearmen in there as well, and SortOf still manages to snipe all of the Springolds that Tatoh just made. Okay, though he is throwing a lot of his Spearmen away right now to the Crossbowmen, so might potentially... oh no, SortOf is also going up. This could really up here. And oh no! They hit, and they hit hard.
Not even in spread
no.
formation.
Oh no, I'm scared right now for Tatoh. The next shot is gonna come in.
I don't understand why I didn't at least put him in spread formation if he's gonna take a mangonel on head on like that.
Oh, he just tried to sidestep it, but it wasn't good enough here. Now there's only 3 minutes remaining on the sacred site, sort of now also hitting Imperial Age. And Tatoh, he does have the upgrades for now, but he just does not have the military to compete here at this point.
Now wait a second, Tatoh, he plays Age of Empires too, right? Can't you dodge mango shots? Do you think that that's what he thought he was going to try to do there?
Yeah, but usually in Age of Empires 2, you also tend to dodge mango shots with formation. They do work a little bit differently in Age of Empires 2, but most of the time you do use formation in order to dodge mangonel shots with the split formation, for example, making your units quickly spread out into 2 groups to the sides. And they don't have the aimbot advantage from Age of Empires 4, where the mangonels, they're always gonna hit unless you micro the unit.
Yeah. It looked like he had a bunch of siege sitting back at home, as was pointed out, but there we go. Down goes a town center. Sacred Site timer, 2 minutes and 30 seconds right now. This is getting more and more important as this is a victory condition.
Yeah. And right now, Tatoh, he's sitting at 140 villagers, and that is reflected in his army count. Right now, SortOf, both of these players, they're absolutely pop-capped, and SortOf is sitting at 100 army, and Tatoh more at like 60. So all of these extra villagers, they're kind of hurting Tatoh right now.
I was going to say, I saw SortOf at 201 population there for a few seconds, so I don't know what's going on there. We got something crazy.
There are a couple of buildings that you can pack up while at max pop. Most buildings you can, but a couple of buildings you can't. And now Tatoh is once again stopping the timer, or at least prolonging it. Let's see if he's going to be able to maybe TCAP the sacred site. But at the same time, it looks like SortOf is going for a really, really big push here towards Tatoh's base.
It looks like he's not even going to try. Yeah, he's not even, I don't know why he does. He waits so long, but maybe he just says it doesn't matter. I'm just going to hit the home.
Potentially, yeah. It looks like that sacred site is going to get decapped, so sacred site win condition no longer going to be a case here. A couple of horsemen coming in, but they're going to be dealt with relatively quickly. And now there we go. Sacred site has been decapped. Meanwhile, though, SortOf is preparing for a really big push on the front.
Dirk in chat says he's going to decap his base, though. That's kind of what's going on. He said, you can have that sacred site.
Yeah, right now army still looking way, way better for SortOf. It's a little bit strange when you look at it just from oh no, there's the Gur. There are villagers that drop off at the Gur. They're not going to get that extra gold from the step redoubt. Also, everything over here is under siege from these trebuchets. Even the spearmen. The spearmen aren't safe from these trebuchets. Neither are the villagers. The trebuchets just absolutely ruthlessly focusing down not just buildings but also units.
You know, those villagers could take on those trebuchets if they got their knives out, but they really want the gold. And they're not even turning in all plus 50% gold. They're using the Gur.
Yeah, oh man. Tatoh is still making siege right now, but every time he tries to make sprinkles, they just get sniped before they're finally created. This just feels bad right now. I'm not even sure if Tatoh has the improved roller shotting. Yeah, it's only 10 tiles range. These sprinkles, they don't have roller shotting triggers. Ah, that's brutal.
He's hanging on, but SortOf is just rolling forward.
Yeah, 13 range sprinkles against 10 range sprinkles. This is looking really, really bad for Tatoh right now.
Yep. And of course, it's the best of 3, so if SortOf finishes this game off, you'd be moving on here in this bracket.
Yeah, Tatoh once again trying to decap a sacred site. I mean, he doesn't really need to. He doesn't benefit that much from it. Sure, he denies 100 gold per minute, but the win condition has already been cleared by him. Right now, SortOf, he's just chopping away at the production. He's on 7 trebuchets right now, just taking down building by building. Tatoh, he's at 200 out of 200 population, but he's still not really taking any fights. He does have, like both of these players, they do have a relatively big resource bank right now, but neither of them really going for all-in fights right now. But I think Tatoh, he really has to push out at some point in time here, as more and more of his buildings are being taken down by these traction trebuchets.
Yeah.
Crossbowmen, they've not been upgraded yet.
Yeah, they're not. I'm trying to think of like what is Tato's route back into this game. Like he would have to have some like crazy military like cleanup of this. He would have to have like a surround where he just decisively wins and then goes and knocks out some production or something.
Yeah, I think the main win condition that Tatoh has here is if he's able to take down the siege and take a really good engagement here, he's gonna have to go straight for the production of SortOf and just sit under it. Just make sure that SortOf can't outmass him again.
Both mangonels are dead. That's gonna really help him out in this fight as we see the horseman flanking around back, popping the Springles. He's gonna be working on that siege. The spearmen on the front line tanking up. Not a terrible fight for Tatoh.
Yeah, not a terrible fight, but he's still missing the main force of his army. We still see a lot of horsemen there.
Those would have helped.
Out in the fight. Yeah, he really needs them against all of these range units that the horsemen have bonuses against, but not using them right now. And I mean, the fight is going relatively well. Okay, there we go. Now he's using them, not using them to help in the fight, but instead using them to raid. But SortOf already reacted to that, pulling.
That would have been the time to raid while the fight was going on, like poke your enemy. But I thought he was going to pull all the boys and take that fight. But unfortunately, now those horsemen are fighting spearmen.
We're at this point where, if you think about it, both of these players having like, or at least SortOf, still having a really big resource bank. Imagine if you take down like 20, 30 villagers of SortOf, all of that is immediately going to translate into army. That could potentially kill you faster than anything else.
That's kind of a good point. Yeah, late game, sometimes I'm like, that's okay. I've actually won games where I felt like I was really losing, but then the enemy took out my villagers and I was able to make more military and swing it back.
Yeah, I gotta admit, there were games where I just lost track of my villager numbers, and suddenly I find myself at like 170 villagers. I'm like, oh wait, that's a little bit too many. But yeah, similar. I mean, Tatoh, he doesn't have that issue anymore. He's now down to 110 villagers, so has definitely lost some villagers here at some point in time. Could potentially lead in him making a little bit more army right now, but looking at the food income, he just doesn't have as much food right now as SortOf in order to produce military.
And while this stalemate kind of rages on, big shout out to PM303 giving out 10 gifted subs in the chat. It says for Petito's pay raise. So congratulations, Petito. Looks like you just got a raise.
He's definitely going to appreciate that. At the same time,
battle
raging on it. At the same time, SortOf just keeps on producing units. He's just spamming and flooding, and he knows that he has more income right now than Tatoh because he took out all of these pastures. And now Tato's gold is in danger.
Yep. And those hand cannoneers are what really can become a problem as you let their mass grow up. Because though horsemen should be good against them, those hand cannoneers do so much damage. But they especially do a lot of damage when you don't contest them.
They better be doing a lot of damage. For 250 investment for each of these. Now Tatoh notices, but also already there are a lot of villagers down. Tatoh once again, similar to the last game, sitting below 90 villagers in the late game now.
The food count.
And yeah, food count absolutely abysmal when compared to SortOf's food count. This really does look like just a slow push here for SortOf. Well, not really slow. He is trying. He is definitely trying to finish this game out, but Tatoh, he is still trying to hold on with everything he has. Now cannon emplacement in for that outpost on the gold, so it's gonna be safe for a little while. But SortOf is just, he's raiding on every different side. Interestingly enough, his villagers, well not villagers, his crossbowmen are stuck there for hitting the Gur. But he has so many units, it doesn't matter. He's able to have them idle there and still able to win these fights in the middle.
Yep, and I'm sure at this point there might be people in chat being like, well, why is Tatoh not giving up? Like, he's clearly in a bad position. What's he doing? Why does he keep dragging this on? In these tournaments, I think it's very common for players at all skill levels, especially at the top, they don't give up. They're going to fight to the very end because there could be some avenue that they bring this back. So it's very common in these tournament games that you will see players doing this, and I don't consider it bad manner.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any civilization that can come back from a game, it is the Mongols. They're able to just move their entire base, and they're able to also move their entire food economy relatively quickly. If you have farms, you kind of can't really move away from that. With pastures, you just plunk them down somewhere else. It does look like Tatoh. He noticed, I can't outmass my opponent anymore, and he does call the GG. SortOf taking the second game and taking the victory in this best of 3.
Yeah, very long Mongol mirror. Sometimes these are decided very quickly, but it did go down here to the end, and it looks like SortOf will be advancing on in his bracket. Really, I'm trying to think of the moments that stood out here, but it would have been there and kind of in Castle Age as SortOf really took control of the sacred sites there in the middle of the map and seemed like he just was controlling the land.
Yeah, all of the relics, it's just so much gold income. Also, the map control there. It just really led to SortOf just being absolutely dominant there with map control. We see that Tatoh, he did have more food, but just the gold difference, it's absolutely insane. Almost 10,000 more gold for SortOf.
Yep, absolutely. Well, as that will close out this series, there's plenty of more Age of Empires 4 action for you here today, so don't go nowhere. But we're going to take a quick break, and up next, it's going to be a huge set. We've got Nushalbar versus Recon. It'll be a best of 3, and I am sure you guys are going to enjoy that game.